Past exam questions on cumulative frequency. Question number 1. Lucy did a survey about the amounts of money spent by 120 men during their summer holiday. The cumulative frequency table gives some information about the amounts of money spent by 120 men. So there we go. On the grid, draw a cumulative frequency diagram. There is your grid, and to draw a cumulative frequency diagram, what you do is 0 up to 100 spent £13. So down the bottom, look, up to 100 spent £13. The next one, 0 to 150, so 150 spent £25, so 150, £25, and so on to get that drawn. Use your cumulative frequency diagram to estimate the median. You must show, this is what I've written, you must show you have used your diagram by having lines on it. So there's 120 men. You need to find the 60th one, so 60th is there, draw across and draw down, you'll get approximately 240. It should be roughly there, you probably get between 230 to 250 on that one. A survey of the amounts of money spent by 200 women during their summer holidays gave a median of £205. Compare the amount of money spent by women with the amount of money spent by men. Well, according to the median average, less money was spent by women, by £35. And that's all you can say, and that's why it's just 1 mark. Okay, question 2 on cumulative frequency. Question 2, just got to fill in the cumulative frequency figures. So all we need to do here is to add them up as you go down, and that's what I've done, and it should come to 100 because it told you there's 100 customers there. So that's what you should get for that. This next bit I made a mistake on, and I'm going to tell you why I've made a mistake. I've drawn the cumulative frequency graph, so you've got to draw it, so I hope you're okay drawing that. I said pick the middle value, which was 60, but of course I'm being stupid, it's not. The middle value there is 50, so I've drawn the, let's change that, there you go, drawn the 51 on and come down, and the answer is £44 as the estimate for the median amount spent. Question number 3. A company tested 100 batteries, here's information, fill in the cumulative frequency, add them up as you go down, that's what we've done. On the grid, draw a cumulative frequency graph for your completed table. So here is my completed table, and here is what I've done for the graph. For 50 to 55 hours, looking at what the cumulative frequency, it's 12, so that's why it's 12. For 50 to 60, so there it is 33, so that's why it's 33, and so on. Use your graph to find an estimate for the median time. You must take the units. Well, there's 100 batteries, so the 50th one is there. Come down, 62.5 hours. 2 marks for that. So you must state the units, so 62.5 hours. Next question, question 4. There we go. The table gives some information about the delays in minutes of 80 flights. What is the modal class interval? So what's most common? It's between 20 and 30, so that's there. Complete the cumulative frequency table. Again, that's just adding them up as we go down. On the grid opposite, draw a cumulative frequency graph. So the cumulative frequency graph is here. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see that. There you go, hopefully you can see it. Use your graph to estimate the median delay. If there's 80 flights, median is the 40th one. Come down, and you can't read that, but I'll make that 29. And the interquartile range, well, the upper quartile is 60, which is there. The lower quartile, which is 20. So we want to do 37, take away 22, which gives you 15. It's got to be around 15. If it's 14 or 16, it doesn't really matter, as long as you've shown your workings and what you've done here and what you've done on your graph. Next one, question 5. Match them up. Okay. This one can be a little bit tricky. Pick what I call the obvious ones first. So which one of these matches up to these? I think start with R. It's quite an obvious one because it's got a very low one, then it got a really high one, but it's a very small bit in the near the end where it increases. So that's why R is equal to B. Sorry guys, there's your answers in case you just have a quick look. The next one I looked at, R is equal to B. Let's have a look. I think Q equal to D because it's similar to R, but the increase goes up much sooner. So that's why Q is equal to D. S is what I call a relatively normal one, but it's slightly higher up this end of it, and I'd say that looks like A, because that looks like a fairly simple one there. And the last one is P, and that's got quite a big interquartile range, and that probably takes into account there, because the interquartile range there will be something between there and there, I'd suggest. So that's why that one will go with P. Question 6. Write down the modal class interval, that's most common, so that would be 90 to 100. And cumulative frequency, add them up as you go down. And on the grid, draw your cumulative frequency graph and use that to find an estimate for the median. Median's the middle one, it goes up to 120. So you want to be picking the 60th one, which is there. Again, show that you're using it. You must draw these lines on, otherwise you will not get the marks. 101, 2, 3, I think. 103 minutes on mine. And that is your work on cumulative frequency.